All right. What do you got for me next?
This is critical.
Okay.
Remember I told you about the 2015 P Annex?
Yeah.
We got a box.
Yeah.
We had a box. I got some, we certified them at ICG. I have the 2015 P minted, the 2015 P minted, this 79,640 mintage American Silver Eagles. I've never sold this coin certified, and they have to be certified because they come out of the box. There's that secret Silver Eagle we were talking about. I've never sold this coin for less than $599.
Oh, no kidding.
Oh, no. We've sold lots of, I think we're sold out at $599. I have got, I graded an entire box, I got about 250 of these.
Okay.
In Mint State 69. I have to be honest, I had some Mint State 70s that I sold privately at $3,000 a coin. And it's one of the reasons that I can do these at $379, because we had a pretty good quantity of the Mint State 70s. Right. And so what I was able to do is sell these significantly below market.
Wow.
So let me go over this story yet again. The United States government, like I said, was secretly in 2015, secretly making American Silver Eagles at the Philadelphia Mint and never told us. 79,640 of them. Now I know for a fact that at least half of them aren't in existence. It's not possible.
Wow.
Because I had them.
Yeah.
We didn't know it at the time. In 2015, when we did our today's special value here, I sold 19,000 or whatever of these Silver Eagles. We got in our Eagles from the United States Mint to have them certified, and it was funny because the pallet was labeled from the Philadelphia Mint, and we just assumed they were regular West Point Mint. We opened up all of them. None of them were ever certified. By our own records, there were about 40,000 coins on that pallet. So I know for a fact, because I personally am responsible for 40,000 of these coins disappearing.
Wow.
I know that the entire mintage record of this coin amounts to only about 5,000 coins, maybe 6,000 coins total.
Okay.
It makes it by far and away the rarest American Silver Eagle that the United States government has ever done, particularly in Mint State proof. You kind of do it any way that you want it. You slice and dice that any way you want. This coin was one of the single most significant coins ever made by the United States Mint, and we were this close to never even knowing it existed. Like I said, were it not for that intrepid numismatic journalist, we would have never known, and the government had to tell us. Now, they didn't tell us until March of last year.
Okay.
So these coins had 2 years before, because they had to be in original boxes that were still wrapped. Sure. Okay, that still had the seals on them. That had the serial numbers. Not only the exterior serial numbers match up, but there's an interior serial number that has to match up. So you have got what is quite literally the king of all American Silver Eagles. We had earlier the king of the regular issue American Silver Eagle. This is the king of all American Silver Eagles. The only coin that even comes close to this in terms of mintage is the 1995 W. And the United States government made 31,000 of those. Okay. That coin in this condition sells all day long for $5,000. When I have them, they're gone almost immediately at $5,000. Wow. This coin has basically the same mintage as that coin. And in terms of the remaining coins, I believe that this coin is significantly rarer than the 1995 W. This coin must be certified. You cannot buy this coin unless it's certified by one of the top 4 grading companies that are out there. Has to be certified by PCGS, NGC, ICG, or Annex. Those are the only 4 certified and recognized grading companies. It must come from those sets right there. So you have an opportunity to buy this coin at a price that we have never been able to do before. It's not even close, folks. Wow. $5.99. The lowest price ever done. I bought the last box available in the marketplace only because we killed it on the 70s. And I'd have to be $5, because you have to take the price of the box. We paid $100,000 for the box. You know what I'm saying? Actually, it's a little bit more. It's about $135,000 for the box. And so then you certify them. Some of them don't grade at all. Yeah. Okay, we certified enough of them in 70s so that we can offer the Mint State 69s at the single most reasonable price that I've been able to do by just about an order of magnitude.
By a long shot. Did they ever account for why they kept it a secret?
They said it just didn't matter. No.
Really?
And we've asked them. They said it doesn't matter. And I go, well...